The CALGORITHM is back up and running as the Cal Golden Bears land the top player in the Bay Area for the first time since Jared Goff, with the commitment of four-star offensive lineman Tommy Tofi. This is Group Chat Sports. We are covering recruiting, portal, coaching changes, you name it, anything transactional we talk about on Group Chat Sports. Like and subscribe. But this is a big one, folks. I've been hoping for Cal to get the momentum back on their side. I was out there for College Game Day this year. Just incredible atmosphere, great underrated college football environment, and with that upheaval in the portal, Coach Wilcox and the boys lost a lot of talent, really through no fault of their own in some instances. And you hope they could bring it back, get the momentum going. And I think they are starting to do so in terms of recruiting, with the commitment of Jaron Sagapolatelli as I only call a portal recruit last year, but basically the quarterback flipping from Oregon very late in the process. And now you are protecting him. You're also protecting Devin Brown, who reminds me a little bit of Sam Darnold. Some quarterback talent in the building. You need to protect those guys. Tommy Tofi is going to do it. So let's talk about some of the specs here with Mr. Tofi as we look at his film. First of all, let's start with the recruiting class. How about that? You look at 38 incoming transfers. So obviously you're upgrading there from a portal standpoint, and then recruiting. Number 24 in the country, Tommy Tofi, Victor Santino, Nemia Talona, Cam Brooks, very explosive player. Adding just a lot of guys who can help you, a lot of guys from the West Coast. You're even going into Georgia. So a nice start for the class here when you talk about the Cal Golden Bears. And with Tofi in particular, let's look at his specs. 6'6", 330. I saw this guy in person at the University of Miami on a visit, and he absolutely looks the part from San Francisco. Number 8 interior offensive lineman in the country. Some of the schools after him: BYU, Tennessee, Utah. Oregon was the one a lot of people expected him to go to. He was set to visit there this weekend, ultimately will stay home after his official visit to Cal. So let's look at some more film on Tofi, because he's a fun one, man. So let's look at some camp footage here. There you see him. He really is a slim 330. This might have been earlier in his career, because he certainly doesn't look 330, but he has that basketball player tackle athleticism. I see him listed as a guard, and I don't see that. I think this is a guy who's going to play tackle for you for a long, long time. I look at I don't want to butcher the name, but the right tackle for Oregon State that was drafted in the first round by the New Orleans Saints a couple of years ago. I see a lot of similarities with his game. The guy that some people thought would be a tackle, would be a guard, ended up playing tackle just because the athleticism, the base strength, and all those sort of things. As we look at the film on Tofi, and here's some of the quotes as to why he chose Cal. Just from his words, said, "I wanted to cement my legacy as a hometown hero in the Bay Area." Vic Soto, Famikia, and I made clear I was the biggest priority for them. Obviously, there's a Polynesia connection there with both coaches. 30 offers. Oregon, like I said, the favorite, but ultimately he decides to stay home. His brother, John Tofi, who's a smaller guy, 6'6", 195, athlete, recruit, is going to Cal this year. So there's a family connection. Tofi's dad played basketball, played in Europe a little bit professionally. So he's a guy with a lot of athleticism, originally from the Sacramento area, but played basketball 5'5" on the grid. On the hardwood. Also threw the shot put 43.9 as his PR. So he's got athleticism, and also on the defensive side of the ball, you see it. He plays both defensive tackle and offensive tackle. But that's where I really think he's going to end up, and that might put me in the minority to say, hey, this guy's going to be an offensive tackle for you. But I just think the way he moves, that basketball background, that length, it just fits there. I don't see somebody who's stiff. I don't see someone who bends at the waist. I see someone who bends at the knees, and I see someone who stays square to his target. Obviously, he's going to be coached up. But this is an offensive line for Cal that was much maligned last year. You might say that the reason Fernando Mendoza is not at Cal right now is because of the offensive line. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's one reason that's been speculated. Obviously goes to Indiana, play with his brother. But you add this guy to this group to protect Devin Brown, who I compare him to like a Sam Darnold type. That's what he reminds me of a lot. Logan Jaron Sagapolatelli. We'll just call him JKS to make it easy. But he needs protection, And this is somebody who has the ability to protect them. Sagapelitelli, man, one of the best arms in last year's loaded quarterback class coming from the left side. You compare him to Tua as a left-handed quarterback from Hawaii, but he's got a much bigger arm. And this guy and him together, that's an NFL look to it. NFL arm strength for Sagapelitelli, and then just NFL ability from Tofi. Again, this guy was a 4-star interior offensive lineman. To me, this is a top 50 player in the country tackle. That's really where he should be ranked, because you could see this guy going in the first round of the draft. And if you're Cal, just a massive, massive recruiting win for you, and a statement to the rest of the country that you're not going away. This great momentum you had this season. Yeah, you lost a lot in the portal. You added a lot in the portal, but ultimately hometown recruiting is going to put you over the top. And that's what they're doing here with Tommy Tofi. Like and subscribe to Group Chat Sports, man. We're going to keep covering Cal. Love this program. Love my experience over there last year, and hope they can keep landing some monsters like